Okay. Time time for me to start all this. Today's gonna be tonight. It's gonna be pretty fun stream. We're gonna be talking about some Final Fantasy stuff here, Final Fantasy 7 related stuff. It doesn't matter if it's the remake trilogy. Doesn't matter if it's the OG. Everything's gonna be Final Fantasy 7 discussion here tonight, this evening. I've been looking forward to doing this. I think this is gonna be pret's fun. Let's wait for enough of you guys to start coming in. So what's up? What's up? What's going on, Neo? What's up, AJ? What's up, Mad Docs? What's up, Chronicles? And what's up, Tavon? What's going on? What's going on? Can you guys hear me? Want to make sure that everything is it's working just right. And sometimes I have to get me a new cable. I'm gonna get a new mic in general because this thing has like a short in it, so when I tap it sometimes it knocks the mic out and everything like that. So just want to make sure you guys can hear me. What's up, Phoenix? He said dances with incels. What's up? Oh my god, that name, yo. What's going on? What's going on? I really appreciate the support that you guys have shown for my Final Fantasy VII Rebirth spoiler rant video that I uploaded this morning. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I was not expecting that video to do well at all. Because most of my Final Fantasy VII videos, compared to any other videos that I do, they don't really do numbers like that, or they don't really do that good. The only big video that was Final Fantasy VII Remake Trilogy related that was that did numbers was when Final Fantasy VII Remake first came out, and I gave my thoughts and opinions on the story itself and why I disliked the story direction that it was potentially going. And that did some really, really good numbers. But as far as anything else after that, they did okay to terrible as far as views are concerned. So the fact is that I'm close to hitting 2K. As far as views are concerned for this video, like this video is like almost an hour and 20 minutes. It's pretty much an hour and 20 minutes. So if a video that's Final Fantasy VII Remake related that really doesn't do too well on my channel, and then you take a video that's an hour and 20 minutes, I was expecting this video to do horrible. But as far as watch time, it's the highest in watch time compared to any video I've ever made. That is crazy. And of course, when you look at the view count on my YouTube channel, that's not the real view count. It's not updated yet because the video is still climbing in views. So it takes like a couple hours before you actually get the actual view count. But I can see the actual view count in my Creator Studio on my account. I can see the actual numbers. So I'm close to hitting 2K's views when it comes to this video. So I'm really, really happy and really excited because I was not expecting that to do any numbers, good numbers at all. What's up, Chris? What's up, Kazama? What's up, Osman? He says, share your stream. Thanks, I appreciate it, Chris. Dropping by to listen. I don't know how I feel about the Nanaki's true voice. Like that's the thing. Like I'm gonna try to answer a lot of you guys' questions too. If you have questions related, remember questions related to Final Fantasy. I don't care if it's the original. I don't care if it's the compilation. It doesn't matter. Anything Final Fantasy VII related, you just throw it out there. Like we're gonna try to stay on task with this. But as far as Red 13's voice, that who said that? Oh, Dark Moon. He said that I don't know how I feel about Nanaki's true voice. It really caught me off guard. I'm gonna be honest with you. What they did was, as you played the game. Also, I want to make an announcement too. I want to make an announcement too. I already beat the game already, Rebirth. Now I unlocked hard mode, which is New Game Plus essentially. So since I already completed the game, what I'm going to do is I'm going to live stream instead my hard mode New Game Plus playthrough of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth starting tomorrow. Tomorrow's my birthday. So I figured that, hey, why not do a Final Fantasy VII hard mode playthrough? So I will only replay through the game only on live stream. So you guys get a chance to experience the game. For those of you who are interested and still want to see the game regardless of me spoiling it. But also with the New Game Plus, which what I like with this option, I can choose to have all of the content that I already completed. So you won't be finding me doing all the the sub quests and stuff like that. I will leave all of the stuff that I've done that's completed already. I will leave all that completed. So we'll just be playing through. It'll be just me level grinding and playing through the story to meet these challenges and stuff. So I will be starting that tomorrow. So those of you guys who want to sit down and watch me and just chill and play through hard mode, because as I said before, when it comes to playing RPGs on live stream with you guys, I can't do it when my first playthrough because I have to pay attention. And I love chatting with you guys. It's hard trying to play an RPG or action RPG or whatever that requires you to focus and pay attention to the story. It's hard doing that. But since I already beat the game I already know the story, so I'm able to give you my thoughts and opinions as I'm replaying through the game, and you guys get to be able to see some of this stuff unfold in front of you guys. And let me see. I wouldn't know what to say about Final Fantasy VII. Watched it twice and shared the link and closed. Damn! Thanks, Aaron J. Said I watched it twice and shared the link to a close friend, like a brother of mine. So I watched the whole thing and probably plan to watch it a second view later. Oh man, guys, I really appreciate this, man. I really wasn't expecting you guys to really watch that whole thing. That's why I put the timestamps. I put the timestamps in there because I knew that maybe there's particular topics that you guys wanted to see for yourself and get answers to. So I'm glad I put the timestamps in there because I knew that there's going to be a lot of people who's not going to watch the full hour and 20 minutes, but maybe there's a particular topic that you want to see yourself and curious about. So I'm glad that really worked out. Synthetic Man's, not sure if he's genuine or not. I saw some of Synthetic Man's point of views on the on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I don't know, I don't know. Synthetic Man's kind of sus to me. He's one of those anti-woke channels, but it's something about him that feels more deep-seated. That he seemed like he's one of those guys that's using anti-woke to speak how he really feels about these things when it comes to diversity and all this type of stuff. Like I really got my eyes on him because I used to be a viewer of his and started watching his viewers, watching some of his takes. But some of his takes and some of the things that he says, I'm not on board with. Some things, some of his takes when it comes to this woke stuff. When he criticizes certain things and stuff, I'm not that much of a fan of. So like I'm really leery of him. When it comes to when he comments on certain things, when it comes to the whole woke stuff or whatever like that. So I saw a little bit of his because I think his is an hour long too. When it comes to Rebirth, I saw a little bit of his and I just turned it off. I turned it off. It didn't really grab me. And this is after I finished my game and after I finished my video spoiler rant or whatever like that. So I didn't really stay too long for his. I just turned it off or whatever like that. But what's up, Slum? What's up, Gemini? So to be fair, the original you found out younger than he. Yeah. So also, did you know Scarlet's mech looks like Emerald Weapon? That's a good one too. That it does look like Emerald Weapon. It really does. That also popped in my head when I first saw it in Intergrade or whatever. I said, yo, this looked familiar. I'm trying to remember because, like I said, I played Final Fantasy VII so much when I was younger, throughout the years and stuff. But I said that mech itself looks fucking familiar to me. Man's a joke. I can't take him serious, especially since God of War Ragnarok. What's up, Grant? What's up, Neo? He said I'm doing good, just playing Final Fantasy 14 online. Like, yeah. So back to Red 13 in his voice. Just like let me see. Just like Gemini said. To be fair, yes. To be fair, and I mentioned this in the video. You got to remember, in the game itself, the original game, since there's no voice acting, we couldn't tell. But if you notice, Red 13 behaved one way before he made it back to Cosmo Canyon, and then his behavior changed, and the way he talks and the way he communicates to the party switches up the moment you get to Cosmo Canyon. So what they essentially did was, with the voice, they did the same. They did it this time, but with the voice, you're able to actually see and hear the changes in his character. Because, as I said before, when it came to Red 13, Red 13 was pretty much using that voice as a defense mechanism, and to also appear much older, to appear much more older and wiser than what he actually is. And he's actually a teenager and a child at heart. So, and as I said before, like in the game, you would hear this voice, right? But you would see a question mark. But you never knew it was Red 13 or whatever. Because you get to this one scene when you're in the when you make it into the Lower Junon Hotel. You would hear Arif talking, but you would hear this voice. I'm like, what the fuck is that voice? Who the hell is Arif talking to? But then you see Red 13 walk out, and I said to myself, no, it's not Red 13 or whatever like that. But who the hell is she talking to? So you would hear that teenage voice at certain segments of the game when Arif is by herself or whatever. So then it's once you get to Cosmo Canyon when he really pours on the voice, and the entire party, you should see Barrett like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on here? So that was pretty interesting. And the voice actor himself, he did a damn good job. If you look at the voice actor, you didn't think such a deep voice would come from him. And then the teenage voice on top of that. Like, he actually did two characters in one, Like, he really did a good job with that. So I already had no problem. It seemed like they was going for the Lion King, because he reminded me of Simba with that voice when Simba became an adult or whatever. And I think that's what they were probably going for when they did that with that voice. I think they were going for more like a Simba-like type voice for him. I had no problems with it or whatever. He said, when I went back to listen again, he said, what do I think about Dragon Ball Sparking? Zero. We'll talk about that in a second. We're going to try to stay on Final Fantasy VII for a bit before we start talking about other things. Since this is a Final Fantasy VII stream. I'm going to be doing a video on Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, by the way. So just to give you a heads up. He said, I went through it. I think her mech is going to become produced in part in part 3, because that mech reminds me of the mech that what's his name, the other guy from Shinra, the one that's the head of security. I can't remember his damn name. It's off the tip of my tongue. At first, I thought that was the mech that you had to fight when you return back to Midgar. Remember when you return back to Midgar? Matter of fact, I'm gonna look for that. Was it Heidegger? That's his name. I'm gonna look for that for a second. Return to Midgard. I'm gonna look for it for a second, real quick.
Welcome back to Final Fantasy VII, my friends.
I want to look at this.
We are about to start Midgar, where we will have.
When I saw Scarlet's mech, I thought it was like a prototype to the mech that Heidegger was
I'm just going to show you
was using
really
when you
quickly.
fight him as a boss. Now, for those of you who don't know nothing about the original, this is the original Final Fantasy VII. This is the part when you have to return back to Midgard, because that's right, you return back to Midgard and take it, and you taking it back. You're taking the fight back to them, to fight Rufus and them, and this is where you do the last stand against Shinra. This is where you fight Scarlet, Heidegger, you fight the Turks once and for all in this fight. This is before you do the Northern Crater fight against Sephar Off at the end. So everybody's getting together, everybody's getting ready to take the fight back to Shinra. And I thought the scene was badass because everybody skydived. This is a raid on Midgard itself. Everybody jumps off, and I thought this scene was so badass. When I was younger. What's up, Kalel? Yeah.
I like how we can.
That's Heidegger. Yeah.
And do, uh, have
What's up,
a landing in
Lux?
style.
What's going on? Oh, thanks. I appreciate it, man. What's up, from Rare? Yeah, man. This right here had me hyped. This like you felt like you was at the end of the game. Like you're taking the fight.
All we need to do
you're taking it to Shinra now. Like you're actually going in. So yeah, I'm gonna fast forward because I'm curious. And the Young Turks fight was optional. You was able to choose whether or not you wanted to fight them.
And now we're going
or not.
the other way around.
So let me see if this boss fight is here. I'm just making sure. So yeah, you do the last standoff against Reno, Rude, and Elena, right here.
Yeah, that's definitely enough for now. So.
And this fight wasn't bad at all.
Location, it's location.
I did pretty well in that fight.
And it is a little bit useful to.
So this dude
max out the number of
have
sources
full,
and so
he don't
on.
even have the full walk.
And items, really.
Oh, here we go. There it is,
Welcome
guys.
Back to Final
this
Fantasy
is what I
VII,
thought.
my friends. As I've shown you, go left. But if you want to visit
all right,
the
I found it, guys.
You
so
go
we about
right.
to get to the part.
You okay?
I'm fast forwarding it in a second. Yeah, here we go.
Weapon.
Now this is when you fight. This
Welcome to
stupid
Sephar
advertisement.
Off by the club.
Since the name
This is
being
more
back
than
blew
a
my
place to
mind.
hide away
Yo, what's
or
up?
get
What's up,
away.
Forrest Gardner? What's up, Nate?
It's a
Yeah,
main course
I'm not really
that
feeling synthetic man at all. Like
before
his,
boarding.
I think he's a grifter,
the
and
Cloud
I don't know. He's kind of sus to me. Like I think he like I don't a lot of things that he say I don't agree with. And to me, it feel like he's using the anti-woke to be able to spew how he really feel about things. So yeah, this is right here. Now I'm gonna take you to.
Yeah, apparently the Proud Cloud is Shinra's ultimate.
This is where you fight Scarlet. This is where Heidegger and Scarlet is out. Yeah.
Hammer.
So guys, this it right here. This I was thinking that when you in Final Fantasy remake integrate and when you in Rebirth, I was thinking that the mech that she was using that you fight, I was thinking that maybe is that the first prototype to this? That's the first thing that came to mind. Well, I do have an ad blocker, but I guess it doesn't work too well or whatever. But yeah, this fight right here, this mech right here, I was thinking that is that the same one?
It will use an attack.
That's what had me thinking.
It doesn't have anything to steal either, so
that's what had me think. That's what had me thinking. Because let me go back for a second. Let me pause that. Let me go back to this because I was maybe if I bring this up just to give you a little something for a second. Hold up, guys. Let me go to this folder real quick. Go to movie. Let's go to videos. Let me go to my capture. Let me go pull it up for a second for you guys. 1 second. Because I want us to take a look at it and see if that maybe is the if that maybe is the case with this. I can't wait to be honest, I really want to, I can't wait to play hard mode with you guys on stream so you guys can actually see the game and we can actually talk about it even more and you can see for yourself with the game and the action and everything. So I'm definitely looking forward to that tomorrow around 6 p.m. Eastern time. So definitely looking forward to that. So 1 second, guys. Bear with me. I got so much footage and everything, so I'm trying to make sure. Okay, here we go. So it's the Gungaga reactor. Yeah, here we go. So I'm gonna let that come up. All right, so this is my playthrough. This is where we get to the part where we run into Scarlet at Gungaga right here. On this part, and I can't wait to go run through all that. So I'm not gonna show all that. Yeah, here we go. So I do want to show this part, so you guys get to see for yourself. We'll take it here, just so you can see for yourself. So look at the mech that she's using. I was thinking that the mech.
Hey, Scarlet,
right here.
She's coming for your wrinkly hide.
And see, if you play Integrate, Yuffie has a bone to pick. What they did was with Yuffie, they tied Yuffie to Scarlet because what Scarlet had done to Sonan, which was Yuffie's partner in the Integrate right here, Integrate Final Fantasy VII, Integrate. That was her partner. Sonan was pretty much killed. I'll put in quotations because I don't think he's dead, by Deep Ground. In this one, and Scarlet played a big part in what happened to her partner. So now Yuffie really has a bone to pick with Scarlet, and so does Barrett, because what happened inside, what happened to Barrett's past. Scarlet plays a role in that. So I do like the fact that these characters it pretty much gave Scarlet more of a presence, because Scarlet didn't really play a big presence. She popped up here and there, but they really gave Scarlet a big presence. Most of the Shinra people, except like Rufus was really the main focus, but most of the Shinra, I guess you would say executives, they really didn't play a big role like that in Final Fantasy VII, the OG. So now what they've done here is Scarlet has a bigger presence by tying her to Yuffie. So this is the first time in a long time Yuffie actually sees Scarlet.
We'll go easy on you. Promise.
So look at this. This reminds me of that mech that you fight in the original. I'm thinking that because in Integrate she was working on it. So to me this seemed like an incomplete. This may be a prototype. It looks just like it in a sense. And Scarlet, man, like everybody talks about Tifa and Aerith and Yuffie, but no one's talking about Scarlet enough. Scarlet, I don't know, man. Like Scarlet, she got. Yes, and so you fight her here. So it kind of remind me of that in the OG. So yeah, I don't want to go too deep into this because we'll explore that when I actually play it for you guys on stream. But this reminds me of this right here, what they call it, the Prowl Clyde. It reminds me of this, but a much more updated version of it. Yeah, and I do agree with that. The shoulders does remind me of Ruby Weapon as well. I do agree with that. He said Scarlet is good from the face down. Her face doesn't do it. Dude, because Scarlet is a MILF, bro. Scarlet is a cougar. Scarlet is sexy as hell from the face all the way down. They said they better not mess with the slap fight. Also, that's what I wonder. Like, will they do the slap fight, or are they going to go like, since Tifa is a martial artist, it wouldn't make sense for her to do the slapping and stuff. I don't know. They should keep the slap fight in there. I would like the slap fight in there. I would love to see, Tifa and Scarlet throw down with the little cat fight and thing and everything. I would like for them to keep that in there, but we already know as it is that they already dropped the ball on a lot of things in the remake trilogy as it is. So they may even change it up. They may even change it up. Definitely can get it. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they change this in Square ethics department. Yeah. I also say that ethics that because of that, like for instance, if you guys don't know, Cloud had actually put his hands on Aerith. When you get to the ancient temple, Cloud literally physically hurts Aerith. He actually beats on her. He gets on top of her and start punching her. I mean, he brutalizes Aerith in the original because of Sephar Off. Sephar Off takes control over Cloud, and Cloud ends up beating the shit out of Aerith to the point Sid and them had to get in and fuck Cloud up. Barrett and Sid had to get in and fuck Cloud up to get him off of her, and they took that out. But they didn't replace it with anything better. But to me, they should have kept that in there because that was a reflection that Cloud has lost his damn mind. Like Cloud is losing it, and I really felt that because when I was young, when Aerith was getting the shit beat out of her, maybe let me see if I can find that. Because I did show it in my video or whatever. So we're gonna go back to the full screen in a second. So I'm gonna go look for that in my folder. We can talk about that in a second, because as a young man, as a young kid, that was a very, very impactful, because I didn't expect anything like that coming from a video game. Seeing that scene growing up with Cloud putting his hands on Aerith or whatever. Where is it? Yeah, was it? No, my nostalgia folder. Let me see if I can find it, because I got it in here, because I showed it in my video. It's at the ancient temple walkthrough. Yeah, was it this one? Yeah, let me see.
Welcome back to Final.
Yeah, here we go. So let me get to the part, and then we'll let me open it like this. You know what? Let me put this here. 1 second, guys. I just want to make sure. I want to get to the exact part. No, that's not it. So I got so much stuff in here, and then on top of it, it's not in order. So I gotta find the walkthrough for Condor, all of it, Genova, walkthrough meeting, walkthrough Cosmo Canyon, Rocket Town. Hell with it, I'll just bring it up on here. So this is the ancient. Let's try the ancient temple. Ancient temple. We'll check it on YouTube instead of me trying to go through this damn folder trying to figure this shit out. All right, here we go. So we're gonna go through it, and then we're gonna talk about it for a second, because that scene really hit me. This scene right here really hit me. This is where, because what they changed up here, you have to, if you guys don't know, in the original Final Fantasy VII, the black materia was the ancient temple itself. The ancient temple it transforms into the black materia, but in the rebirth, the black materia is literally a black materia. It's just a black materia. But what was so unique and different about it was Cloud and them was like, "Where's the materia? Like, where the fuck is it?" They was looking for materia, but then they found out that no, the temple itself is the materia, and they have to transform the temple into a materia and stuff like that. But anyway, after you fight the boss. Here we go. This is the part right here. In the game, you get the materia. The temple turns into the black materia. Aerith go down there and follow Cloud, right here. So as long as we have this, we can stop Sephar Off or whatever. And then Cloud's acted normal. He said, "Nope, we can't use it right now. You need great spiritual power to use it." So it means lots of spiritual energy. That's right. One person's power alone won't do it. Somewhere special where there's plenty of the planet, where the planet's at. Oh yeah, the promised land. So yeah, all this stuff is going on. Sephar Off appears. Sephar Off appears. Barrett is like, "What the fuck?" And then here we go. There's Kid Cloud right here. They cut all this from Rebirth. They cut all this shit. Kid Cloud is supposed to appear because Kid Cloud is Cloud's innocence. He's his voice of reason. They didn't reflect any of that in the remake trilogy. Kid Cloud played an important role in the game. He was the one that kept Cloud sane. That was the one that was fighting Sephar Off in Cloud's head. They showed none of that. They got rid of all that. So now you're playing as Kid Cloud, trying to stop Cloud from trying to hand the black materia over to Sephar Off. So meanwhile, Cloud head is hurting. Aerith is trying to calm him down. And this what got me. Barrett is looking like, "Yo, what the hell?" and all this other type of stuff. And then Cloud gets up, and here we go, right here. He gets up, and he pushes her to the ground, and he gets on top of her and starts beating the shit out of her. Now, as a kid, this may not look like anything to you now because of how the game is, how dated it is, but as a kid, this did something to me. Because the reason why I said it did something to me is because I never saw a video game go this far. as far as the hero. Cloud is the hero. You would never see a hero beat on anybody innocent, and yet alone Aerith, who as a young boy, I was in love with Aerith and Tifa as a young boy. Now I'm watching my hero, who is Cloud, who I look up to as the hero. He's putting his hands on Aerith and beating the shit out of her. So you know, the black man had to come down, Barrett, and knock him the fuck out or whatever like that. But it showed that this game didn't pull any punches at all. This is what this generation is missing, man. When it comes to video games, everybody's trying to be so sensitive, so woke, and everything, giving everybody safe spaces and trigger warnings and cry closets and stuff like that. But this was gaming at its peak right here. Gaming at its peak. And when this game came out, I was in 5th grade. And I'm sitting there with the controller in my hand and said, yo, like, I'm saying, like, Cloud, stop. Like, what are you doing? Cloud, like, what are you doing? Stop hitting on her. Stop beating on her. You know? And it showed how lost and how deeply controlled Cloud was. And the control that Sephar Off had, and they removed it. And I won't show the scene in the Rebirth because we're going to play through it, so hopefully you guys get to catch it. But they scrapped that. They scrapped it. They just ruined it. Ruined it. Yeah. They what's up, DJ Gaming? Yeah, let fictional characters be fictional, man. It's supposed to explore the human condition, good and bad. Thank you, friend Rare. What's up, Rav? He said Cloud got a strong pimp hand. Said OG Final Fantasy willing to take risks doing something that people today wouldn't do, and it costs Square Enix. It's costing Square Enix right now. Exactly, man. They completely took that out from the game, and that really meant a lot. Especially if you was young playing that. That really hit me hard. I'm like, Cloud, what are you doing? Why are you hitting Aerith? You know, like stop hitting her. You know, but they took that all out. They took it all out. Now we're gonna talk about Sid for a second. I want to bring this up. They changed Sid. This is another reason. This is another thing that I hate too. They definitely changed Sid, and I explained in my spoiler, but I guess we'll talk more about it here or whatever. And I don't mind talking about it here because because Sid doesn't really play much of a major role in Rebirth, so we'll talk about it here. And now I ain't gonna lie, to me, I think there was one woke segment in the Sid part, which we'll talk about, and you guys get to you'll probably better pick it out yourself when you guys look at it. So okay, we about to meet Sid, right? We about to run into Sid again after we came back from Nibelheim. This is where the change come in, when you start to realize that they changed Sid's character right here. Oh, let me
Her name's Fauna, right?
Maybe. So what?
That sounds like a yes to me. I called it the second I saw you. Boy, am I ever glad I sent up smoke. Tell me, how's she doing? Good?
No. She's dead.
You know, the whole reason I joined Shinra was to become a pilot. But I wound up as a gopher for some lazy grease monkeys.
Yeah, so he's gonna explain everything about his past.
HQ fixing lights and whatnot.
What's up, Nova?
One time, though, I came across a pretty young thing with a little girl in her arms.
In this, they kind of made him like a simp, because he was like he's essentially simping for Aerith mom, and now that Aerith mom is gone, he's simping with he's pretty much say, I'll do anything for you, Aerith, for the sake of your mom, on your mom's name. Like this, they really made him a simp. But there's this one part that really irritated me, because to me it seemed like it was out of character for Aerith, because Aerith wouldn't do something like this in the original. And I hopefully you guys get to pick it up, because it happens so fast and it's so subtle. But if you know Aerith and you know the original, it's just like why did they add that in there? Maybe it was a localization thing, or they was just like, this was on some woke shit for me, in my personal opinion.
That was you, wasn't it?
Probably.
What's up? Oh, what's up, Hypnotic?
Tonberry. That was what? Oh, it's a smoker, I'd wager.
Right here, it's coming up. They neutered my boy.
Damn. No longer with us.
They made him a
Shame.
just a simp, man.
Truly. Hey, Missy.
Here we go. Hey, Missy, and she said it's Aerith. She got offended by Sid calling her Missy.
Aerith, is there anything I can do for you?
This is not Sid.
I want to help.
What? Why?
Just trying to do right by you.
This is not his character at all. They neutered my boy.
More than plenty. Thanks.
They neutered my boy.
You're just dying to hell. You're good. Take us to the saucer.
So yeah, that's the part I wanted to show when it came to Sid. They neutered my boy. Cause you know Sid, man, Sid had a foul mouth. And what I liked about Sid is when you put Sid and Barrett together, them motherfuckers cuss like sailors. And what I do, I ain't gonna lie, I will admit this. Because I always, back in the original, I always paired Sid and Barrett together. Because those two remind me, they're just alike. They're so similar to each other. And I always put them two together. And when those two together, dudes, they censor. You know how when they censor out the cuss words, they use they use asterisks, the dollar signs and stuff. Those dudes cuss up a storm. And what I do, I ain't gonna lie, what I did like about the introduction of Sid is when Barrett meets Sid and they get to talking, and Barrett says, he said, I think we're gonna get along just fine. It was like, wow, like it actually came to be. Like I always thought those two would get along, and Barrett saying to Sid, I think we're gonna get along just well because of how he talks about Shinra and how he is. I thought that was pretty cool or whatever like that. But overall, with Sid's character, man, they made him a simp, simping for Aerith's mom, and now he's pretty much simping for Aerith or whatever. And I just didn't like the dialogue exchange between Sid when he called her Missy. She kind of took an offense to that, and I'm not Missy, it's Aerith or whatever like that. So I like they didn't have to do that, that's just who Sid is or whatever. But as far as what they're going to do with his character in the third game, he said, yeah, I hate Shinra. Yup, I always thought Barrett and Sid were similar. Sid was a total bastard in the OG. That's why he was so awesome. And his character. He said, I know that you'll evidently talk about Microsoft and Pokemon nerfing female characters. Yeah, Roll of Dice. We'll talk about, I have a video coming up for that. But yeah, man, like Rocket Town is not in this game at all. And the only reason why Rocket Town, in my personal opinion, is not in this is because they're going to save it for the third game. Because since Sid is an NPC in this game, it wouldn't make sense to try to explore Rocket Town or anything like that. So we're going to get more backstory for Sid in the third game. So why use Rocket Town here when you can use that in the third game? Now, my question is with Sid, we already know what Sid was like in the original. This dude had a foul mouth. He smoked cigarettes. And he was verbally abused Shara, his personal assistant. He was very verbally abusive towards her. I mean, he used to talk so grimy to her. And I like, and the thing is, I have a feeling they're going to remove that aspect because now they changed his character. So they might not even have that aspect altogether, and Shara may play a different role in this altogether. But that part in that story, even as a young man, as a young kid, as a young boy, when I read it, I said, damn. I said, yo, he talking so foul to this girl. And she's always apologizing to Sid and pretty much kissing up to Sid. And Sid would call her, he was calling her an idiot. He was cussing at her. He was doing all kinds of stuff. And then you found out why he was doing it. And I'm not justifying why he was doing it, but he always wanted to go into space. And the space program that Shinra was trying to pretty much start up, this was his chance to do that. And what happened was Shara, who was his personal assistant, they was helping with the rocket. And what happened was, right when Sid was about to take off and his dreams were about to be accomplished, she had got caught up in the engine room and she was going to die. So he had to make a decision. We can go up in space, or I can and allow her to be stuck in there and die, or I can fuck this up and ruin the rocket just to save her. So he cared for her so much, he went down there because he didn't treat her like this before. But he went down there and saved her, and it ruined his whole opportunity to go into space. And ever since that happened, he hated her. He took so all his anger, all his frustration, he took out on her. And as you get to talk to Shara, you feel bad for her, and she blames everything on herself. Say it was my fault that Sid never got a chance to go up into space, and she pretty much never got over that. So she allowed Sid to demean her and talk to her any kind of way. And when we got the remake and we knew that the remake was coming, I said, how would they address it? Since everything is going woke and stuff like that, like, would they scrap this out, or would they approach it differently? How would they do this? So now seeing Sid now and they changed his personality, I doubt we'll ever get that. And the reason why that story was important was because when you do go out, and you eventually do go out into space, when you go through the big materia arc that I call it, and all that changed. He changed over time and towards Shara and stuff like that. And you got to see his character change and develop over time, and his relationship towards Shara. So he wasn't an ass forever. He did change over time, and how he treated her changed over time. But we'll never get that. I think that we're not going to get that at all because of this whole wokeness that, gaming is today, Said, but will she serve that tea with lots of honey, and don't forget the Lord. Yeah, he said, Junk said, but I guarantee you Sid will apologize and kneel to her, calling it. He said, Junk said, will Vincent end up a bigger simp in part 3? That's a good question, Junk. Now, I wouldn't lie. I would be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised they make him simp to Shara, because right now, as you see Sid right now, he's simping towards Aerith because he was simping for her mom and stuff. So the way he acts towards Aerith, I wouldn't be surprised that they make him simp up towards Shara or whatever like that. So they pretty much brutalized my character, my boy Sid. Sid was my boy, especially when you got jump with the jump materials and he does the jump abilities and stuff like that. Oh my god, man! Sid was strong as hell, man. Like, one of my favorite characters. But will Vincent end up being a bigger simp in part 3? If he go from simp to foul mouth, that would throw people off so badly. Now by default, Vincent was, if you get a chance, if you play the compilation, if you play Dirge, Cerberus and stuff, to be honest, like in the compilation, Vincent was already a simp for Lorecia. Like, if you really break down his story, that was simping going wrong. Vincent became what he was because he was simping. Like Lorecia was the worst character. And the thing is, what makes it so bad is, even as a vampire, as what Vincent is, the things that he's doing for Lorecia, even in the current state Lorecia is in, he's still simping. Because if you play Dirge Cerberus, Lorecia did Vincent dirty. Lorecia did Vincent dirty, and then she slept with Hojo out of spite. And even when she slept with Hojo to have Sephar Off, or whatever, Vincent was still trying to protect Lorecia. He tried to protect Lorecia because he's pretty much saying that, yo, Hojo don't care about you, Lorecia. He only wants that fetus. He only wants Sephar Off because of the experiment. He's only using you for the experiment and stuff. And Lorecia didn't care. She slept with Hojo anyway because she's a scientist and she wants to also see this project go even farther, but it was also to spite Vincent. It was to spite him. And then he went into ultimate simp mode, and because Lorecia wanted to be used, instead of Vincent sitting back and allowed Lorecia to suffer her fate, he went in there simping and approached Hojo, and then Hojo shot him, and then they started experimenting on him. All for Lorecia. All this happened because he was simping for Lorecia. Oh yeah, I remember that. Still at the Dirge of Cerberus, he's still simping for her now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, the Lorecia, yo, look, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't a big fan of Dur Cerberus, but I was pissed off. Lorecia was a bitch. I'm not gonna lie. Lorecia was a bitch. She truly was a bitch. And Vincent was willing to go down that path, because he was madly in love with her. But that woman took advantage of him, and that woman just stepped all over his heart and everything. And Vincent got shot and everything, all because he wanted to simp for her, because she was walking into the path of destruction, and he was willing to go down that path of destruction thinking he can save her, and it ended up costing him. And then when he wakes up later in the coffin and finds out that Lorecia dies anyway. She dies anyway. Dies, quote unquote. So all that was for nothing. Yeah, that was very dark. Yeah, they ain't gonna have that in part 3. So yeah, remember, say, is Final Fantasy like Fate and it has recurring characters? Oh, Rolling Dodge. Final Fantasy is an ongoing series, kind of like the Tale series. Final Fantasy games, every game is about a different world, a different character, different lore, and everything. Every Final Fantasy is different. It wasn't until we got into Final Fantasy X where they wanted to flip the script and start making sequels of certain Final Fantasy titles. That's what also got Hamaguchi pissed off, because Final Fantasy was it. It was the final ending. It was the final conclusion. It was the final story. So whatever the story was in Final Fantasy, whatever game you played, that was it. It wasn't until Final Fantasy X they wanted to capitalize on it, because they wanted to find out how can they make money. This is all about money. Square Enix wanted to find out how they can make money off the same assets that they have. Final Fantasy X2 was an asset flip. They wanted to be able to see if they can be able to cash in on as much money possible by reusing the assets that they currently have. So Final Fantasy X, they decided to make a story out of it, reusing assets. And they end up making a shit ton of money off of Final Fantasy X2, Final Fantasy X Part 2. This is when we started getting sequels. So after they saw Final Fantasy X-2 make money, they said, what other Final Fantasy franchise we can do the same? And that's what made them look towards Final Fantasy VII, since Final Fantasy VII was the Final Fantasy that made Final Fantasy become mainstream. And Final Fantasy VII was that lightning in the bottle. So they said, yo, everybody loved Final Fantasy VII. Yo, let's capitalize the fuck out of this. We already proved that with Final Fantasy X2, it can work. So that's why he decided to make the Final Fantasy VII compilation, where he's going to get this kind of like a Marvel Cinematic Universe, but with Final Fantasy VII, because they wanted to tell different stories within the Final Fantasy VII universe. So they were going to create stories that didn't just focus on Cloud and his party. They was going to start introducing other characters in the Final Fantasy lore and start branching it out. Even the Turks got a game, but that was a cell phone game, which never came to the States. That was only in Japan. You was able to create your own Turk character, and you were able to pretty much follow the Turks. This introduced Rufus. This also introduced the origin of Avalanche. Avalanche was founded by this female character, I can't remember her name, and 2 other people. They founded Avalanche together. Avalanche is the group that Barrett is part of. Well, Barrett is part of a sector of Avalanche, or whatever. So you got the origin of Avalanche within that story. You get to know more about Hojo and everything like that. So they wanted to come out with a compilation, start introducing other things. So they said, while we're at it, we're going to do a sequel to Final Fantasy VII, which was Final Fantasy VII Arid Children. Now, if I can remember, I believe Arid Children was originally supposed to be a game, but they scrapped it and decided to make it a movie. So Final Fantasy VII Arid Children, it takes place after Final Fantasy VII, and we got a chance to see what happened to Cloud and the others after the defeat of Sephar Off and Aerith saving the world from Meteor with the white materia. And then they said, you know what? How about we give backstories to Zack? And this is where I think, for me, I was done. I was out of it. Like, when they went to Crisis Core, I as a Final Fantasy fan, was so happy. Like, oh man, we get more Final Fantasy. But I didn't know that, hey, is this really do we really need this? It didn't click to me till I played Crisis Core, and everything that I thought of Zack, it ruined, because they had to start retconning stuff. There was a lot of retconning to the Final Fantasy VII lore once Crisis Core came in, Avid Children came in. They started changing character personalities, and not only that, they wanted to create this love story with Zack and Aerith. And if you go back to the original, there really wasn't no real like love story or whatever like that. Because if you unlock the secret cinema with Zack and Cloud, Zack mentions that, and when he mentions Aerith, he says, "Man, maybe when we go to Midgard, maybe I go around that girl's house and see if I can stay stay there, crash there for a bit, and then we'll decide if we're gonna become mercenaries." She was just some chick. The way that he described her, she was just some chick or whatever like that. So in Crisis Core, they try to create this love story with Aerith and Zack, and then how Zack meets Aerith. It was the same way Cloud meets Aerith. He falls through the ceiling of the church. So I'm like, why are they doing this? So that whole scene where Cloud falls to the church, it kind of felt like meaningless at this point. It didn't have any significance or impact anymore, because now you're saying that, oh, it happened because Zack did it? Like, come on. They start doing all this stupid stuff, and then you incorporate the backstory to Sephar Off, which I didn't need a backstory to Sephar Off. I think Sephar Off was perfectly fine the way he was. He was much larger than life because there was a mystery. There was a shroud of darkness behind this character. And they left it to the community to draw their own conclusions. I think that was the best part about Sephar Off. Now we're starting to get into it now that there was 3 different experiments that was going on. You had the Project S, you had Project G, which was Project Genesis. Then you found out that there was 2 other motherfuckers that was just like Sephar Off, which you had was Angel, and you had Genesis or whatever. And they both had one wing similar to Sephar Off. So now the one wing aspect and the aesthetic that Sephar Off have doesn't seem special no more because there's 2 other motherfuckers like him. It just ruined it for me, because in my personal opinion, when you have games and you leave it to the community to draw their own conclusions, I think that's what makes the games become much larger than life, and it allows the game to last through the course of time and generations that people will continue to talk about. And what ruins it to me, things that never had answers to it, when the writers or the developers come back in and give you and give context behind it, the context never meets the expectations to which you had drawn up in your head, and it ruins the whole thing. Perfect example. Remember the prequel trilogies to Star Wars, when you find out that the Force is microscopic organisms called metachlorians that people have, so that if they have a high level of metachlorians, that's the reason why that they're Force sensitive or some bullshit like that. There was never an explanation behind the Force. But then George Lucas gave an explanation behind the Force, and it destroyed the whole meaning behind the Force. That's the same way with Crisis Core for me. Well, I didn't need a backstory to Zack. I didn't need a fucking backstory to Sephar Off. And that ruined the whole aspect of it. But guess what? Crisis Core had become many people's first experience with Final Fantasy VII. So Crisis Core became very popular because most people got introduced to Final Fantasy VII through Crisis Core. So now all of a sudden you have Zack. Zack became very popular to many people. And the thing about Crisis Core for me that ruined it for Zack is how he died. They made him go out heroically. Now, if you don't know, the original Final Fantasy VII tragic fate of Zack, it was much more simpler. Zack died by a simple Shinra soldier. Instead, in Crisis Core, they made him go out in a blaze of glory by hundreds of Shinra soldiers. No, a simple soldier took him out. Now, people say, that's kind of lame. No, you gotta understand the context behind it. See, Zack was so focused on protecting Cloud and so focused on his well-being, it was easy for a simple soldier to sneak up and get the drop on Zack. That's why he went out like that, was because he was focused on Cloud. So now think about the guilt that Cloud has. When Cloud crawls over to Zack's body, he feels guilty is because, Zack was taken out by a simple Shinra guard, and Zack only died because of me. So Cloud took on that guilt. All those memories of Zack, he took on because of guilt. Cloud was walking around with so much guilt that to the point that he was convinced that he was Zack himself. That's what the whole underlying premise of that whole scene was. But in fucking Crisis Core, they make him go out like this heroic death, and then he goes over the cloud. And the thing about the original death of Zack's death, Zack didn't say anything. He died. So that was another hurt piece to Cloud, because Zack was never able to give his last and final words to Cloud. He dies. That's it. So Cloud has to carry that burden. He has to carry that guilt. But in Crisis Core, this dude, they give him a heroic send-off, and then Cloud goes over to him and gives Cloud his Buster Sword and say, "You're going to be my legacy." So Cloud takes that in as, hey, I'm going to take in Zack's memories. Fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. I don't care. People can get mad at me all they want. It was fucking stupid. Yeah. So first, Cloud versus Link. Dragon Ball was nerfed on purpose so they pretend Link would win. So the same thing happened to Dime. They have an obsession of diluting heavy moments with top moments. Now the whole thing with Dime and Barrett, I would say this. I agree with the OG fans, because I'm an OG fan myself. But at the same time, yes, it hits Dime and Barrett's scenes hit differently, but it still pulled at my heart, because like seeing it retold or whatever, it still had that hurt piece of Barrett and that guilt that he had to carry on, because he was the one that pushed Coral Town to pretty much take on that Mako reactor, and you felt that guilt, you felt that pain in the whole situation, even the dialogue between the two, Dine and Barrett. Yes, it wasn't the same or whatever, but it still got me, man. It really, really got me. And the fact is, every time Barrett cried, man, that shit was water in my eyes. It like, cause you see Barrett is such a strong man. You know what I'm saying? Such a strong man, and to see such a big guy like that just buckle under his emotions and start crying and stuff like that, man, that shit was really getting to me so much. So even though it didn't hit the same as the original, it still had that moment where it still hits you when you sit down and think about it and feel what this man is going through. So I still enjoyed it, but I understand at the same time, yes, there like that impact that you would like to have from the original wasn't there, but I still felt that emotion the same way, in my personal opinion. You may not agree, but it still got me. Oh yeah, and also you get to see Barrett's wife too in the game. You never saw Barrett. I'll bring it up for you guys. And I like what they did in Remake. You actually got a chance to see Barrett's wife. You actually get a chance to see her. In Final Fantasy Rebirth. I want to bring it up for you guys. It's something that was done different from the original game. I want to be honest with you guys, and I said it in the in my breakdown video, my spoiler. Yes, there are some filler in this game. The Ancient Temple, because like I said, the story beats were pretty good. Like playing Rebirth, like they followed the story beat for beat, but they did throw in some curveballs here and there. But they did follow the story beat for beat in most aspects, in most regards. It's only when Sephar Off comes into the story. When you see Sephar Off, be prepared for him to fuck the story up. Sephar Off is there to fuck the story up. That's what he's there for, and it pisses me off. But also, it's every time the story does a radical shift, is every time you get to the last final chapters of the Remake trilogy games. When you get to the Ancient Temple was like I think the Ancient Temple was like 5 hours long. For no reason. There was a lot of filler in the Ancient Temple, but they did add an aspect that was not in the original. You had to go through a trial, and each character had to face their past. And what I liked about it was we got a chance to see Barrett's wife. And I thought they did it. I liked it personally because they didn't put emphasis on his wife much at all in the original game. Yeah. That's what I liked about it. Kurisu. I agree, Kurisu 3000. They did give us more lore on the Ancients as well. I liked that with the Ancient Temple. But there was a lot of filler in the Ancient Temple as well. A lot of filler. But we're gonna get to those. We gonna get to the part where you have to face everybody has to face their past. We're gonna get to that part in a second.
But make it quick.
So yeah, here's the part where everybody had to face the Cloud couldn't go. It was only the characters, the party members had to do this or whatever. So some of this part did feel like filler, like Red 13's part feel like filler, like why or whatever. But Barrett, to me, I really and it's pretty much her reliving the Nibelheim, so you didn't really need to know that. Oh, this part right here. If you see, this is new. This is new for you guys. For Yuffie, remember I told you if you haven't played the DLC or the or Integrate that came out for PS5. Remember I told you that she had a partner named Sonan. So she's going to relive this part, and because he's supposed to have died essentially, or whatever like that. But I believe that he's going to return in some shape or form. So she's seeing the ghost of Sonan or whatever. So this part was filler because they have you running around. I don't know why they could have just took you to the part that mattered most instead of you climbing and doing it. Just didn't mean it. It just didn't make any sense. It's just using reusing assets because you had to do this part on Integrate. You and Sonan had to climb up and you had to run over to the other side stuff, and you replaying this part. This is just padding out the game. This part was just fucking stupid. You could have just gave us the cutscene to the parts that really matter. So I was kind of irritated on this part, saying like, "Yo, like, why am I doing this? Like this is unneeded. This is unneeded filler. Like you just padding out the game for the fuck of it, or whatever." So let me fast forward because I had no idea that this. So here goes Sonan. Here Nero from Deep Ground comes in, or whatever like that, and this is where Sonan had sacrificed himself in the original. Now this part never happened, but this is this is the illusion. She's seeing more of it and stuff. But I believe that he's going to return. I think they took him, and I think they're going to experiment on him. But you fought Nero from Deep Ground and Integrate, and she fears this dude because of what he's done and stuff. So this is like a fear that she has to face in the trials or whatever like that. So that's one thing I admit. I want to see this story like completed, or I want to see this story through follow through on it. So hopefully we'll see something come out of this in part 3. All right, so let me see the next part. Here we go, Barrett's part right here. We get to see Barrett's wife. Get to see Barrett's wife for the first time, and I was excited for this part because I didn't think they was going to show her.
There you are.
And she's beautiful too. They did a good job with her. She is beautiful.
What's wrong, baby? You okay?
And I like you get to see more of the. Look, man, Barrett is my favorite character in this trilogy. They really did a good job fleshing him out, even more. Like, cause he was already my favorite character in the original, but I think they really did him good in this game. And now we see his wife and her character design. They did a good job with her character, man. They really did a good job to see this. So this is what I said, that there are parts that I appreciate with Rebirth in the remake trilogy, that they do expand on this stuff, things that was never expanded upon in the original. Yeah, then people would have played it. I agree, Dark Moon. I agree. He said, "Take notes, U.S. devs with no black friends." Oh yeah, I love Kate Sif. They did a good job with him too. We'll talk about Kate Sif in a bit as well. But yeah, this is a trial that Barrett had to go through, but they did a good job with this, man. And like I said, man, like every time Barrett had these moments, like it really pulled at me. I think he had the most emotional as far as emotional scenes. Barrett had the most. Like most of his was all it hits you hard, in my personal opinion. It hits you real hard. Now this part is filler for me because you have to walk through all this just to get to the part that you get to his wife and everything. Which, like I said, all this should have been a cutscene. None of this shouldn't have been playable stuff. Because you're doing all this stuff just to get to another cutscene part, but this is just a way for them to pad the game out. Akuma dumb. He said, damn, she's fine as hell. He said, man, it's such a goddamn shame Barrett lost her. What's up, Lawless? What's going on? Said, hey, Mr. Lord Barrett, we've definitely done well together. We will make gaming great again. I agree, Rocky. I agree. What's up, Cairo? Still whining about the story being different from the poorly written OG with bad translation.
Wake up, baby.
So, yeah, man. So they did a good job. Like they did a good job. And every time we get to these moments and stuff, man, like it really gets to me, man. They did such a good job with Barrett. Another thing that we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about the ancients, and they give us more backstory on the ancient temple, about the Sephar. Now, what we're finding out is mankind, man was afraid of Arab people, because Arab people were able to communicate with the planet. They were able to communicate with the planet, the ancients or whatever like that, and the humans were afraid of them because of the power that they had. So they went to war with the ancients or whatever. So they actually expanded on that. So I'm gonna try to dig that up as well, so you guys can get a. Here we go. This was actually pretty interesting as well. We actually get now right here. We also want to talk about this too. This is called the Gi. The Gi was only a small part in the original. They decided to expand it, and what they did with the Gi, they kind of they kind of made them look like an African tribe. These like Africans from another dimension, in a sense. The way they gave them the braids and their skin color, the skin tone, and some of the clothing, like you get this African feel from them as well. So yeah, the Gi, they gave them a bigger part, and they are supposed to be the ones responsible for the black materia. But right here in the ancient temple, we get more backstory about the ancients and Genova. I think this was pretty good. I think they did a good job with this. In Rebirth, we get this with this lore. So I thought this was pretty cool that they have done this, and they explain this to you. It's average. Seems like the game has a lot of great moments, but some really bad moments as well. What a shame. Yeah. Bro, speaking of hitting hard, Child of Light, that opening. How do you expect you to go on after that? Everyone will keep on fighting. So that he said, "Uh-oh, this racist. Africans, black materia. What does Square mean by this?" We're gonna get to the Gi in a second. So yeah, this is them explaining about the ancients.
Yet I shall remain. I, son of Genova, will at last claim my birthright.
All Sephar Off is an evil is Dark Jesus. That's all he is. He is Dark Jesus. That's all Sephar Off is.
My dominion shall reach into infinity. It shall encompass worlds unbound by fate and histories unwritten.
And he's still, and this is the thing, he's still like, he explains, he somewhat explains his motives, but it's still vague as fuck. What do you mean?
These errant worlds, all shall be one again.
The reunion.
All made whole forever.
There's no such thing as forever.
Ah, but there will be.
No. You're wrong.
Yeah, like this.
Reckoning is here. Yet, you need not be afraid.
And yeah, and this goes into a boss fight. But we're gonna talk about the Gi. I'll bring up the footage about the Gi in a second, because this is where this shit gets like, just ridiculous, or whatever. So I'm gonna bring that up. So I also have an issue that he has one wing out all the time. Yes, like that. That's what I'm saying. They keep spamming him. It's like they see all the fan art and they see that everybody loves the one wing angel thing, and to me it seems like they're trying to like capitalize on that. So they just keep showing the one wing. They oversaturated Sephar Off to the point that Sephar Off isn't special anymore. He isn't what I liked about the character. And like I said, they just using him to cash in on the fan base and everything. So yeah, we're gonna get to the Gi part in a second. Let's see. So we finished the trials. We beat the trials. So yeah, I think this is the part right here because I got everything in this folder mapped out a certain way. So we're gonna. So remember in the original game you had to go through the trials. Well, they did the trials differently. Remember when you did the trials, you had to go with Bugenhagen, Red 13, and your party. Well, this time what they did differently is you don't go in the trials with Red 13 and your party. This time they were saying that by tradition, when the Guardian or whoever's going through the trial, they need a spectator to witness the chosen one that's going through the trial. They need a spectator to witness everything. So the spectator has to be one person. So Bugenhagen chose Barrett, and Barrett's like, why me? So now this time around, you're going through the trials without no other party members. It's just you. It's just Red 13 and Barrett. So you better have good fucking equipment, and you better make sure that you leveled up pretty good, because this game is notorious of splitting your party up and randomly throwing party members together. So that's why it's important to level up materia and level up everybody. So if you have a favorite character, don't spam your favorite character and ignoring your other characters, because there's going to be times where your characters get split up because of the story. And this is the perfect case right here, where it's only Red 13 and Barrett. But luckily me, I used everybody. And I level up a good amount of materia, so I didn't have that issue. But those of you, I know there are people that play RPGs that have a favorite character or a favorite team, and they only run with that team. No, this game, you cannot do that. You have to use everybody. Here comes the writer trying to make himself smarter than anyone else. That's what I'm talking about. That's what's in it. It's like they're trying to be clever. But yeah, this was the boss fight, and I'm gonna skip this because we'll definitely visit that in the game later on when we play in the live stream. Yeah, so this is what happens. Right here when the this happens differently, because in the original, remember, after you beat the trials, Bugenhagen explains that his father wasn't a coward, because his whole life he thought that his mother was the hero and his father was the coward or whatever. But it was actually his father that protected Cosmo Canyon. He knows the truth, and then Red 13 ends up having a newfound respect for his dad, and that was it. But a twist happens in Rebirth. The Gi actually shows up. So I'm gonna fast forward past all this. So now Red 13 is showing respect for his dad.
I am Nanaki, Watcher of Cosmo Canyon.
He got a symbol on. This is a Simba and Mufasa situation, a moment here. And the statue cries and everything, just like the original game. And that's when the plot twist comes in. Because after this happens, and then you pretty much finish the trials. And every time Barrett gets emotional, he puts the shades on. I love Barrett, man. I love this dude. Like, yo, man, like, well-written character, man. They've done so much to this nigga, man. Like, this is my boy right there, man. I love Barrett. But this is what happens. This is the plot twist. They changed everything. The Gi, the Africans from another dimension.
My name is Gi Natak. O brave and noble Seto.
So they added a whole new story element.
Hear the urgent pleas of my people.
So, like I said, this game has so many plot threads that's just going everywhere.
As ever.
Just can't wait to be king.
The warrior.
Said typical Nomura and Najima. How do you feel if Square Enix squeezes in the Avon children in part 3? I wouldn't be surprised, bro. I don't know how I would feel about that, because like I said, this game is supposed to line up for part 3. Oh no, for part 3 is supposed to line up for Avon children. So I wouldn't be surprised that part 3 starts sprinkling in some elements to let people know that Avon children was bound to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if they throw those elements in there. I wouldn't be surprised if they start throwing in certain characters or whatever lore that gets you prepped for Advent children, you know? And say his bitch ass show up. Sephar Off. All the time. Every time this dude shows up, the story just fucking just like goes crazy.
No.
So yeah,
This one's
in the original, none of this happens in the original. So they added this part here. So now you have to pretty much go down this path and meet with the Gi.
Anyone explain to me why we're even taking this detour?
I'm sorry, I love Yuffie, man. Yuffie is so adorable in this game. I love her personality.
You know, save our homeland?
I love how upbeat she is and how everybody treats her like a little sister. I love it.
I don't know. This Gi dude's too nice to freak me out.
Yeah, so we get into the Gi part right here, and then we about to go into this other dimension
Maybe try swaying
and everything.
of the boat?
And we start to find out that the Gi themselves are the ones that created the black materia, which is the black materia that Sephar Off also want, and it's also the black materia that
Be quiet.
brings Meteor.
The planet is listening.
And what's
So-
wrong with that?
These Africans from another dimension, they created the black materia. The black materia is the thing that's supposed to destroy the planet. Now, you have to understand, the Gi is not from this plane of existence. They're from another plane of existence. So what happens is, since they're not from this plane of existence, they can't go to the live stream. They can't die. Only those who belong in this plane of existence, when they die, they can go back into the planet. They can go back into the live stream and recycle. They can't. They live on forever. So they living through eternity being tormented. So the Gi wants to die. And the only way to fulfill their death, they need the black materia. But people are saying, okay, but the black materia also means the meteor. So in a weird sense, I believe that the only way to kill these guys or give them the death that they want is by eliminating life altogether. That's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong or whatever. But yeah, this is a new aspect to the story that, like, what the fuck? Another thing we're going to talk about Glenn. We're going to talk about Glenn in a second, because Glenn said those were clones with Genova cells that were doing Sephar Off's work. He said originally wasn't the majority of these Sephar Off appearances supposed to be Genova taking the identity of Sephar Off. Yeah. He said, bruh, Sephar Off is part of Organization 13 with the way he disappears and stuff. They pretty much made G's into... Alright, so first, for those of you guys who don't know who Glenn is, we're going to mention that in a second. See... Seven Ever Crisis. I'm gonna do this real quick. We can go to the trailer so you guys can understand what's going on, so you guys can get like an actual full context of all this. Okay, this is perfect. We're gonna run with this. I'm gonna bring this up so you guys can get some context of all this. Now, of course, we have Final Fantasy Ever Crisis, the mobile game. That's right. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has incorporated the trilogy. The remake trilogy has incorporated the cell phone characters into the Final Fantasy VII lore. So to give you context of this, let me get the other trailer. One second, guys. So because I want to make sure we do this here, get this right. Is this it? Do. All right, clicked on that. 1 second. I want to make sure I got everything the way I cutscenes. Oh, the people got cutscene compilations already. All right. Oh, here we go.
This is the story of how Pipe Drive
These
can
game ads
accelerate your
advertisement.
business growth.
All right, there we go. All right, so this is Glenn right there. Glenn was a soldier himself. And he also has two other comrades. Now, this is the crazy thing. You got the female character here, and you got the black guy over here. Now, the thing about this is, what was so interesting is, in one of the side quests in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, when they were talking about Avalanche, they mentioned her. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, because, like I said, I don't give a fuck about the mobile games. But she's also incorporated into the story as well when it comes to Avalanche. So I'm thinking that when we get to Final Fantasy VII remake or whatever the name part 3 is going to be, that she somehow is going to make an appearance on this in here. Now, I'm also interested in to see if the black guy is also going to be somewhat playing a part in the story as well. But this is Glenn right here. Glenn, now Final Fantasy Ever Crisis takes place, was it 10 years before Final Fantasy 7, if I can remember? So we have a much younger Sephar Off here, or whatever, during this time. And which, like I said, we didn't need a backstory. Here we go, got the angel wing feathers and stuff. All this, they're overdoing this shit. But this is during the Wutai War that's been talked about in the original Final Fantasy 7. This is how Sephiroth got his name as the hero during the Wutai War. So they're trying to elaborate on that as well. So this is the younger Sephiroth. Sephiroth was a young boy, like killing motherfuckers like nothing or whatever. So this is where they're really digging in on this. So now you see Glenn and these people and his party. So I'm gonna show you this thing that really fucked me up when I played this game. When I couldn't believe it. I said now this is the thing. I had a feeling that Glenn was going to be in it because in the trailer when they showed the guy in the cloak, I said that has to be Glenn. That looks like Glenn. And long and behold, I was fucking right. It was Glenn. So we're going to get into that in a second when I bring up this footage or whatever.
She said you could show us a way to get up top.
Sure, I'd be happy.
Yeah, my daughter loved Priscilla because my daughter one thing about being a father or being a parent is reliving a lot of things through your child. And my daughter never seen the original Final Fantasy 7, so her first introduction to Final Fantasy 7 is the remake, and she loved these characters. But my daughter didn't know anything about Priscilla, and my daughter sees Priscilla and said, "Is she a main character too?" Like, no. And my daughter likes Priscilla is because she said, "Dad, like her outfit, I love her outfit. Like is she so aesthetic or whatever like that? That's me right there. Like I will wear that and stuff." So, and she loves her personality and stuff. So my daughter see herself because of how she dressed and how upbeat she is and stuff like that. She was hoping that she can be, let's say, she was going to be a character or whatever. But yeah, this is Priscilla from the original, and I like what they've done with the character and stuff as well. So get to the part where we was talking about here. Here we go. This is a cutscene where they show off the Highwind for the first time and everything. But this is the part that gets me. Here we go, guys. Oh, this part right here, guys. This really,
Personally, I think that's a good thing.
the nostalgia hits me on this part right here. Like I was getting all giddy inside when I saw this part coming up. We get a chance to actually see the Highwind and everything. And I thought it was pretty dope how they did it. So let me fast forward. Oh, here we go. Don't want to mess it up.
Unless you got a trained crew.
Yeah, there's the Highwind, man. And when I saw that, man, I was like, let me take it back some more. Yeah, dude, I was going crazy when I saw this. I was like, yo, like it just looks beautiful, man. It looks really fucking beautiful. But we're going to go to the part where I was talking about. Here we go. This is the part right here. This would make me like face palm. I started face palming on this scene because this never happened in the original at all. I started face palming.
Enter.
Is making no money. The Gacha community
An emissary from Wutai is here. Sent
yeah, this part right here. So I'm like, okay, where's this shit going? I was like, okay.
He introduced himself as Colonel Glenn Ladbrock.
All right.
Because Rufus said, I killed this nigga. Like, what do you mean, Colonel Glenn Ladbrock? I killed this nigga. What's going on? So this, I guess you can say this is like Kingdom Hearts aspect here, the organization type of thing. So I'm like, okay. I said, this better not be Glenn. I kept saying this, like, I wish you guys was able to see my reaction. I said, this better not. I said, no. I said, no. Are you serious? I said, now we adding mobile game motherfuckers in this joint? Like, are you serious? And Rufus is like, what the fuck? I killed this nigga. Like, Yeah, he said, "Yo, nigga, I killed you." So this is where it goes off the rail. This goes off the rails. So I said, okay, what angle are they approaching with this? Because this was an unnecessary addition.
Mr. President. The Viceroy and your late father had...
Yeah, she was Hobo Glenn.
I assume you intend to
He said, I was mad confused during this. And dude, I was confused as fuck too. I was like, what the fuck?
That's good to hear.
I was confused, bro.
Stomach for war. And this battle for the Magnus materia demands commitment.
1 second, guys. I gotta order me some food. Because I ain't eat dinner yet.
Thank you. I'm aware. But my father is dead, which changes the equation.
Yo, dog. Like, I was baffled. I was fucking baffled
You always did prefer to march to the beat of your own drum.
when I saw this.
This new vision include your fairy tale promised land? You Shinras, you take and you take, you never give back.
Let me see.
Left to you, this world would end up an empty husk. But war can put things right, beget anger, desolation, hatred, and in its wake, new unity. A people rejuvenated,
I guess we
and a
can do that.
planet once more made whole.
Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna get some Boston market this time.
What we're doing's for the greater good. Just gotta know when to ease off the
Yeah, bro.
gas.
Like just listening to this dialogue and where this plot could potentially go.
You started this, remember? No more playing.
I was like, I don't know, man.
Obligations to fulfill. Let's give the people what they deserve. Oh, right. Before I leave, a message from the Viceroy. Congratulations on your inauguration, Mr. President. Shinra has a bright future.
Yeah, dog. Like dog, that right there, bro. That right there really. When I seen those characters added to the game, I was like, these guys are really going to do this, huh? These guys are really going to hit us with this. Now we adding mobile characters into this game. I said they really trying to squeeze all this in here because if you don't know, which we're going to talk about as well, is that they're really trying to merge every last element of Final Fantasy. I mean, every form of media into Final Fantasy VII is because if you guys don't know, not Chadley, what's his name? Shit. Leslie. Yes. If you guys don't know, I'll show you who I'm talking about in a second. I'm just placing my order down for my food in a second. There we go. All right, we good to go. So I'm gonna pull this up for you guys, so you guys can, so you guys know what I'm talking about here. So it's this character that we're gonna. Okay, so let's go to. We're gonna click on this one. This is a quest we.
Remember me? You're that guy from Corneo's.
All right, this guy right here, Leslie. This is a follow-up story from Remake. Now, this Leslie guy, which I didn't know, I had to find out doing some research. Leslie is not a new character. He's not made up. In fact, Leslie and many other characters that we were introduced in this actually come from some of the novels. I never read the Final Fantasy VII novels, so I didn't know. Also, what's that young kid name in Advent Children that hangs out with Marlene? He's from the novels as well. So we got characters that are from the novels that was incorporated in this game. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to take every form of medium, even down to the cell phone games, and add them into the overall Final Fantasy lore. That's what they're trying to do here with this game. So I don't know what the end game for all this is going to be, but you would have to actually read a lot of this stuff and know a lot of the material to understand most of what's going on in this game, especially as far as the added context with these other characters. There's another character I'm trying to pull up if I can. Oh, let's go to Yuffie. Yeah, Yuffie. So I can find it. Here we go. So there's another character in the game that's from the novels. So you guys get to see for yourself. Her, Kairi. Kairi, she's also from the novels as well. I thought she was a new original character, but no. After I started doing some research over time, when Remake came out, after I beat Remake, I started digging in to know more about these characters. And no, these aren't original characters to the trilogy. These characters are actually from the novel.
I know Junon was kind of a bust, but I'm back and better than ever.
He said, oh my god, the writer expected us to have read the novels and other medias. They're really treating their audience as an experiment in fools. Oh, what's up, Neji? What's going on, bro? What's up, Reg?
For a 20-something, you sound like my grandma.
He said he comes off more like Lucifer, to be honest.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so yeah, so she's a new character. So she's not a new character. She's been around for a long time. So I'm gonna fast forward real quick because this is a quest that we had to do for Yuffie to boost my relationship status up with Yuffie in the game or whatever.
What was it?
Said we should.
So we after we did because there's another character that pops up that's actually part of the her grandmother. She's also in the novels as well. So yes, they incorporated the characters from the novel, and then they also now incorporated characters from the mobile game. So this universe has every Final Fantasy media weaved into this game. So yeah, that's it. So that's with that character and everything. Also, there's some people that's curious about the affinity system with the dates. Yes. You can. He said, I'm doing good though. How's life? Oh, life treat me good, Neji. Thanks, man. Yes, you can date anybody in this game. Now, when it comes to you can date Barrett. Not in the gay way. It's more so hanging out with the bros. You can hang out with Red 13. You can hang out with Barrett. But when it comes to the female characters, you actually go out. Is an actual date. So you can date. Yes, you can date Yuffie. Yes, you can date Yuffie. You can date Aerith and you can date Tifa. Now of course, who I chose. I dated Tifa, of course. But you have to max out her affinity if you want to get the kiss moment from her, which I max out the affinity for Tifa. So Cloud and Aerith got a chance to kiss. I won't show it on here because you guys will probably, we'll do a playthrough and you'll be able to see it from the game itself or whatever. But yeah, you'll be able to kiss Tifa. Now, I went online and looked through the other dates and Yuffie kisses Cloud. Yeah, Yuffie kisses Cloud. And she sneaks a kiss on Cloud, and Cloud gets thrown off guard or whatever. So Yuffie has a crush on Cloud or whatever. And you also get a bit of backstory during the date with Yuffie, because we find out that the reason why she finds attraction to Cloud as well, Cloud reminds Yuffie of Zack. Because like I said, once again with Crisis Core, is Zack, you meet Yuffie when she's a little girl. Yuffie wanted to prove herself to Zack and stuff. And at the same time, she had a crush on Zack. So when meeting Cloud, those feelings come back up, which is the reason why she always picks at Cloud and gets on Cloud's nerve, because she has a crush on Cloud. So during the date, while they're talking and stuff, she sneaks a kiss on Cloud, and Cloud like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? And then she gets embarrassed and stuff like that, and she was saying, well, you know, ain't she supposed to do something like this at these moments and stuff? And then she talks about this soldier that she always looked up to, and she wanted to prove herself to, and she was referring to Zach from Crisis during the Crisis Core moments and stuff. So then you had this little cute moment where she pretends to be beating up on Cloud, and Cloud acts like a big brother and pretends that she's too much for him. He falls and hit the ground and stuff like that. And then she turns around and threatens Cloud when they get off the Ferris wheel and said, you better not tell anybody what happened tonight and stuff. And she runs off embarrassed. So let me see if I can let me see. I got you guys. 1 second. So yeah, you have to build your affinity. Now the thing is, the way she acts towards Cloud. Now I was a young man myself at one point, and girls my age would act like how Yuffie would act, where they get smart with you, they would hit you, and they appear mean. But in most cases, especially when I was younger, that also meant that she may like you. Now, like in some, you also have instances where she just hates your guts. But I remember myself growing up as a young man, a lot of girls used to act mean to me for no reason, and I never understood why. And I never bothered them. I would mind my business, especially when I was. I remember there's this one Asian chick when I was back in 9th grade. I won't say her name or anything, but I remember this one Asian chick. I used to be in class with her, and she always used to fuck with me. I mean, she would just be fucking mean to me for no fucking reason. She used to cuss me out. She used to call me an idiot. She used to call me stupid, and she would always say these things or whatever like that. But I used to notice every time I used to hang around with another girl, she would act a certain way or whatever, or she would ask if I liked her or whatever like that, and it used to baffle me at times. And I remember I used to sit in class and at one time with her, and she used to sit across from me, and you know how your eyes wander around class? My eyes wandered, and I noticed she was looking at me, so me and her eyes locked, and then she put her middle finger up at me, and she stuck her tongue out, and then she turned around or whatever like that. And then later on or whatever like that, she just walked up to me and just started being fucking mean. And I didn't understand. But her friends used to laugh every time she was being mean to me, because her friends knew that she liked me. And she said to her friends that she liked me. And I didn't understand that until a little bit later, until her friends came out and told me that she liked me or whatever like that. But she was just a bitch. She was a fucking bitch. She was just so mean to me for no reason. And as a young man, I'm oblivious. I'm like, I didn't do nothing to her. Why is she being mean to me? Yeah. Dude, it used to bother me. It used to bother me so much to think about it at home. Like, yo, what did I do to this girl? Like, why is she so fucking mean to me? Like I don't talk to her. I don't say anything to her. Why is she being a bitch to me or whatever like that? And even when I'm talking, she used to just butt in my conversations and just call me a fucking idiot. You know, like, you an idiot, you a dummy. And also, I'm like, what is she doing? Like, why is she doing that? And then the rest of the guys were like, what's her problem? I'm like, I don't know what's her problem. She keep coming at me. Like, what's her problem? I used to get frustrated with her or whatever. But it wasn't until later her friends came out and told me that she had a crush on me or whatever. So, yeah. Yeah. So I was going through that as a young man, that I was experiencing that with a lot of young girls my age at that time, that there was a lot of young girls that was mean to me and I had no idea that they actually liked me. And it wasn't until I became an adult where a lot of those girls I end up seeing later, or they would hit me up in my DM, or I would meet them, you know, just casually sometimes, run into them. And they would confess to me that they used to like me and stuff, but they were too embarrassed because they didn't know what their friends were going to think and all this other type of stuff, or what the school would think if she liked me or if she wanted to date me and stuff like that. So I started learning that stuff out. So in Yuffie's sense, I kind of got that when I seen how Yuffie would treat Cloud, and poke fun at him and get smart with him and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's a little sister or annoying little cousin. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, she likes him. She truly likes him because that's what teenage girls would do. Like they do shit like that or whatever. You know, so let me bring, I guess we could bring up the Yuffie date. I won't bring up the Tifa date so you guys can see that in my playthrough or whatever. But it was so this is after you this is after the
Practice for what?
this is when you get on the Ferris wheel. Now this person's playthrough, after you beat the game, you can wear costumes anytime you want. So this person had beat the game clearly and decided to put on her alternate costume and put Cloud's alternate costume on. Just to let you know. So if you're wondering like what the fuck Cloud is wearing, that's because the person decides to put this costume on both characters or whatever like that. So yeah, she's just being an annoying teenager. That's what she's being or whatever like that. And Cloud, you know, he's just sitting there, just casually, just you know, minding his business. And so everybody's date is like ends at this Ferris wheel park. Yeah, so that's so she's acting like herself. I thought Yuffie was adorable in this. Most people say she's fucking annoying in this game. They can't stand her, but I thought she was adorable.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, I choose Trunks. What the fuck? Is that the shirt? Oh yeah, I'll tell you about that in a second. So well, I just popped in and hearing you have Super Riz. What's up, Dan Nerd? What's up, Eximus? Said your attention is your currency for girls like that. Yeah, so like it. So seeing you know Yuffie behave this way, you know, I was able to pick that up because I dealt with that. And she stares at Cloud, and Cloud is minding his business. He's just minding his fucking business, not just oblivious, just being him. And she's getting these emotions that she can't figure out or whatever like that.
So I heard you.
And she's doing what a teenage. She's doing it, and also too, you get the signs because if you play the game, you know how the characters have banter with each other. Yuffie keep poking fun at Cloud, saying, "You like Tifa, don't you? You like Tifa." Because she's also wondering if he likes Tifa, because then she wants to know where she stands. So you pick that stuff up when you listen to how females talk, how girls talk, how women talk. You're able to pick that stuff up.
Don't remember.
Really? Though I guess that makes sense. Tifa
He said she can be both cute and annoying. Yeah, because like I said, Yuffie acts like an annoying little cousin or an annoying little sister that you just say, "Oh, shut the hell up! You're annoying me."
Don't know what it is about you guys, but I get it. I had a thing for a soldier once. At least I think he was a soldier.
Yeah, Zack.
I wanted to prove myself, so I hit him with my best moves.
Zack is just risen. He's just risen these girls up. He's like the Cloud just riz. Just his aura is just riz.
And at the time, I totally bought it.
And he's not doing anything. He just look at Cloud. He's stiff as a board.
Of course he was.
And got these girls going crazy.
For a dumb kid.
Got their emotions all conflicted and shit.
Once I realized that,
he's just sitting there just being him.
I couldn't stop thinking about him. I swore to myself that one day I'd blast that jerk for real. Did some hardcore training so I could give him a beat
That
down.
got Savior Riz. Yeah, I noticed that too, Chronicles.
It dawned on me.
Because this scene right here, like you're supposed to play in the normal outfits. So
And the more I thought about it, the more I realized.
Yeah, that clipping is crazy.
I liked him. You know?
The more I thought about. Man.
Maybe it's because of those feelings that I still can't fire energy blasts.
Yeah, it's Zack and Cloud. Zack and Cloud is just ultimate Riz.
Or my feelings.
The former. Feelings ain't my thing.
think we both kind of suck in that department.
Yep.
I mean, that is the sort of thing you're supposed to do in these situations. It was just practice. So don't go thinking it means anything, okay? Say something! You're so annoying!
And here we go. Yeah, it's like a big brother. This is the big brother moment. That's why I think it's so adorable. She act like Cloud. He knows what to do. He's acting like a big brother. Like he's doing what a big brother does. I thought it was just so adorable.
Hey, if I ever see that guy again, what should I do?
That's up to you. But if it were me, I'd let him have it.
I thought that was so cute. Yeah. He says it was the sound of the police blast. Dead man, water pressure.
Tell anyone about tonight, and you're a dead man.
Yeah, so that's how it works. The mechanics to the affinity system. Now, I would say this. To me, the affinity system is stupid. It was ass. Because these dates have no bearing on the story. Because it doesn't change the story and it doesn't change how the characters behave towards one another as the story progresses. And that's like for instance, like even with Tifa, after you kiss, like Tifa is like happy, Cloud, they're kind of like shy and stuff, but they pretty much cemented that, hey, like we have feelings for each other. But after that date, none of that is reflected within the story itself. So to me, I just think that this system was unnecessary because it has no bearing on the story. And especially after you see what happens with Aerith and Cloud, it like even after I've been through a date with Tifa, none of that means anything. You get what I'm saying? So that's the problem with the whole date thing. Now, if you go out on a date with Barrett, or if you hang out with Barrett, Barrett has to talk with Cloud and say, bro, you're going to have to choose one of them. He said, so what do you want to do? And Cloud said, what do you mean? What am I going to do? You have to choose, bro. You got two women in your life that, like, it's obvious that Aerith and Tifa wants you. You're going to have to make a decision at some point. So that's what ends up happening when you hang out with Barrett during that scene. Yeah, it's just to please the shipping fandom. Yeah. He said, Zach out here being a spiritual wingman. That is perfectly put. Kalel's dumb. Kalel is done. Oh, what's up, Chaos Edge? Yo, Kalel is dumb. He said he's being a spiritual wingman. That's no lie. That is perfectly put. Like you don't understand. All that Riz is definitely coming from Zach. Like. The thing is, I guess we're going to start talking about the relationships part. Now, in my personal opinion, when it comes to shipping, the writers had left it in a way to where it's up to the player. Because it's open-ended. Think about it for a second. Cloud has moments with Aerith that it appears that Aerith and Cloud has something. But then you got to turn around and look at Tifa and Cloud in those moments. Because you know the part where Cloud walks into the light, falls into the live stream, and Tifa put Cloud's memories back together? Well, there in the novel, Aerith explains, because this is because you know Aerith has a novel too. When she dies, it talks about her traveling through the live stream. And what happened was, in the novel expands on that part, saying that she was trying her best to open Cloud up and try to have Cloud open up to her to try to help Cloud get his memories. Cloud wouldn't allow Aerith in. So she knew that the only way to help Cloud, she noticed that Tifa was the thing that will allow Cloud to open up. So that whole thing where Tifa and Cloud falls into the live stream, that was all designed by Aerith to happen in a sense or whatever, because Aerith couldn't get through to Cloud, but Tifa was. Tifa. So when you had to put the Cloud's memories together, the only reason why he was able to put the memories together was because Cloud was allowed Tifa to do it. He wouldn't allow Aerith to do it. He only allowed Tifa in. So Tifa was able to accomplish something that Aerith couldn't accomplish if you read the novel. And I found this out after doing research, because I knew nothing about the novels. I learned that through research and stuff. So yes, so it shows that Cloud also has a connection with Tifa as well. There's no definitive answer, but the writers left it that way. But you have these shippers, which gets on my nerves, to try to say that, oh man, no, the canon relationship is Aerith and Tifa, or the canon relationship is not Aerith and Tifa. I mean Aerith and Cloud, and the canon relationship is Tifa and Cloud. No, they left it open-ended for that purpose because Cloud has an attachment to both of them. Now, in my personal opinion, for me, because I am more of a fan of Cloud and Tifa, is because Cloud and Tifa has more of a personal connection through their history in Nibelheim. They grew up together. They've been through pain and struggle together, especially what Sephar Off has done to everybody that they loved in Nibelheim. That brought them close together. And not only that, Cloud saved her. He saved her and everything during the Nibelheim flashback and during that whole massacre. And then, like I said before, them catching up with one another, and also when you even play the remake, Tifa pretty much wanted to hang out and pretty much go on somewhat of a date with Cloud when you had to choose what outfit that she should wear and stuff. So that was setting that up as well. But as I said before, when it comes to the whole bringing back Cloud's memories, Cloud allowed Tifa to come into his subconscious to do that when he wouldn't allow Aerith to do that. So to me, in my personal opinion, I see a more of a close and stronger connection with Tifa more than I see with Aerith. Now, in my personal opinion, with the whole Aerith thing, to me, she only attracted to Cloud because he reminds her of Zack. Now, I know people can say, well, after a while, she does really truly have feelings for Cloud, but in my personal opinion, these feelings are only more so being triggered by the fact because of Zack. That's the only reason why she has this attraction to Cloud, in my personal opinion. I know a lot of Aerith and a lot of Aerith Tifa shippers will probably cuss me the fuck out right now, probably just typing away at this very moment. But me, in my personal opinion, most of that attraction comes from the fact that Cloud reminds her of Zack. And even in this segment, when you date her, she said, yeah, I really do like you, even though you remind me of Zack, but I'm willing to put that to the side. But no, you still see Zack in him. And even when you play the original game, she mentions that those eyes that you have, you remind me of somebody. There was a guy once that I liked. He was in Soldier. That's all this is, in my personal opinion, is that she sees Zack in Cloud. And that's why she's super attracted to him. Now, I'm not saying that she don't like him, besides the fact that he reminds her of Zack. But most of that influence is coming from the fact is that she sees Zack in him. I'm sorry. That's how I see it. And as a man, I would never want to be with a chick who's only with me because I remind her of a past boyfriend. As me, as a guy, I would never want to. And I would say the same thing to women. Like, you shouldn't want to be with a guy who is only with you because you remind him of his ex. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't want to be that. So me, in my personal opinion, if I was Cloud, I wouldn't want to entertain that. Like, I remind you too much of the last guy you've been with. Like that's where this attraction is coming from. Yeah, so Cloud's more like a rebound. Like Cloud's more like a rebound or a replacement for Zack. That's how I see it. So that's why I'm more of a Tifa Cloud side more than anything, because most of Aerith's connection to Cloud is influenced by the fact of Zack, in my personal opinion. And I know a lot of Aerith and Cloud shippers are going to be mad about that. But that's how I see it, truthfully. That's the only way. And me as a man, I never want to be with a woman who's only with me because I remind her of her past lover. Like I would not put myself through that. I got too much respect for myself, too much self-esteem to want to be with a chick who's only with me, or the only reason why she has this built-up emotion within me is because I remind her of her ex. And I don't care that she grew to love me over time. I wouldn't sit through that to wait for her to love me over time for who I am, to get over that guy. You're not going to use me like that. You know, that's how I feel. Very brutal. So you didn't have to do her dirty, though. Instead of daddy issues, she had Zack issues. Tifa is best girl. I love Tifa to death with Cloud. Tifa and Cloud definitely should be together. So that's the reason why. And then even in Rebirth, you see a lot of intimate moments where Tifa wants to kiss Cloud. You see it, like you see that sexual tension between the two the whole time in Rebirth. There's a couple times where Tifa really wants to grab this guy and kiss the fuck out of him. Like you see those heated tensions, sexual tension between the two. And there's times where Cloud just can't stop looking at Tifa or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. That's my opinion on the whole shipping thing. Like, if you was to ask me, it would be Tifa Cloud all day. That's how I see it. It's kind of disturbing that the ending date is almost like Aerith was trying to recreate the time she had with Zack via Cloud. Wow, I didn't think about that. Like, I didn't think about that, Lawless. That's the perfect. That I didn't even think about that. And Leon says that one is not in the game and it's not from SA. I have no problem about things from the compilation in the remake thing. They need to be there to meaningful. Yeah, man. That's the thing about this entire thing. When it comes to the shipping situation between the characters. But they done a good job, man, with Kate Sith. I like what they've done with Kate Sith. Besides Barrett, Kate Sith was my favorite character too. I love Kate Sith, and they gave him the Irish accent as well, which is what I also find pretty cool, because Kate Sith is actually Irish mythology. Kate Sith, the character itself. So I do like the fact that they actually gave him the Irish accent. They have done a real good job. I'm gonna bring it up in a second. We'll get to that.
Where did that come from?
All right, so this is when we first get to the Golden Saucer. With the party, you know, they break up and they go have fun. The girls are hanging out because the girls, Yuffie, Tifa, and Aerith hang out with the girls and stuff. So it's just you and Barrett, because Barrett is like, you just got finished leaving Coral Town, his hometown, and stuff. So he's going through his moment, and Cloud, Sephar Off was fucking with his head. So Cloud said, you know what, maybe I should go to the hotel and sleep. So you and Barrett is getting reservations for the party, to get a room for the hotel for the party. And this is where you run into Kate Sith. This is the hotel scene right here. Oh yeah, Kate Sith is fucking OP. Oh, what's up, Fried Chicken? He said, I didn't hate him this time. Good job. I'll go with Kate Sith. I can't stand the pronunciation, because when I was young, I always thought it was Kate Sith or whatever. But, yeah, they have done a good job with this character. Like, I loved every moment that Kate Sith was on screen. I enjoyed every fucking moment of it. That's why I said I'm an OG fan, and I will forever be an OG fan. But you guys know me. I am not going to be dishonest to you guys, and I'm not going to tell you guys a lie. Despite me not liking the direction and the choices that they've chosen with the remake trilogy, I will be lying to you guys if I was to tell you that I hate this game 100%, which I don't. Because there are some moments in here that I really love that they have done in this remake trilogy. And Kate Sith, I think they have done a good job with this character. And every time it was a delight for me every time this guy appeared on screen and he had his moments. And I think the favorite moments was because of Barrett and Kate Sith. Barrett don't trust Kate Sith because he don't like Shinra. And what they changed with this was Kate Sith flat out tells you that he's an employee of Shinra. They don't tell you that in the original. You find out after he betrays you. This one he lets you know. So Barrett don't trust this nigga at all throughout the whole time. So you get these funny moments with Kate Sith and Barrett. Like I love the hell out of Barrett in this interpretation of this character. I love what they done. What they really done well. I love Barrett in the original, but I can't lie to you guys. They done a good job with Barrett. But yeah, this Kate Sith, they really done a good job. And the part that I'm gonna bring up for a second, hold up. Where is, what's the part? Kate Sith duty. I guess we'll go here. The Doom Buggy part. Let me find it. I'm going through this folder, so I'm trying to find the right things, so I won't pick the, all right, here we go. I think this is the, yeah, this is the part right here. Let me fast forward. All right, I'm fast forward. Oh, here we go. All right, bring this back up. I think they done a good job. It was so cute because Tifa's driving a buggy and he's sitting on her lap while she's driving. I like, and my daughter loved Kate Sith. When she first saw Kate Sith, she said, "Oh my God, he's so cute!" And like, I want to hug him. My daughter loves Kate Sith. Say, "Daddy, I want one of them." I said, "He's not like he's not real." But say, "Daddy, like if he was real, you would have to buy me one of him. You would have to buy me one of him." They did a good job with the buggy, man. They really pulled out all the stops with the buggy as well. I did not know how they was going to interpret this, how they was going to pull this off, but they did it. He said, "Don't worry, medical bias people prefer that you lie so they can feel validated for liking the game." Dude, I would have a whole solo game with Barrett, and I would be okay with that. Probably become characters now based off of how they handle him in Rebirth. Looks like a stuffed animal. One of the myths, I believe. Yeah. So here's a part where it's about to come up, where the party, because first you're controlling Tifa, because Tifa does all the driving at first, but you have to get to the location to make sure that you're far away from the Golden Saucer. And like I said, man, these party members, they feel like family. Like you're on a journey. And what I like about this too, all your party members are on the screen. Even when they're not battling, they're in the background. And they will like give you the illusion that they're helping you, because they would throw attacks out, but the attacks doesn't really do anything. But it's to give you that illusion that they're fighting alongside you. But all your party members are traveling, so it's immersive. Because you know, back in the day, all your party members weren't on the screen at once. But this game, they're all on the screen traveling with you, and they all have banter with one another. And of course, you know, she always get motion sickness, which is always funny.
Leave me.
If you can't. Yeah, you can jump off the truck. When you run into the enemies, it forces you off the truck. If you run into enemies while you're on the truck, it forces you off the truck to fight. And then the truck will automatically take off on autopilot, and then it will disappear, so you won't see it. And then it will come back after the battle. Look. My daughter loves Kate Sith.
You should get
they've done a good job. I love this character, man.
Ooh.
Lucky food is mushrooms.
And he always fucks up the fortunes and stuff all the time.
Mushrooms.
Gungaga.
Barrett, you mentioned something earlier about the Corel reactor, did you not? You saw.
Here we go. This is where Barrett said, "Nigga, I never told you this information. How the fuck did you know?" This is why I always love it, because Barrett is always on his ass.
Yeah, but I don't recall telling you.
Well, I'm interested to know that just a wee drive from here, there's another rundown reactor.
Barrett, that's why I love Barrett. Barrett is a nigga. Barrett is a brother. Barrett, he peeps game. That's what I love about that. That's why even black characters, and that's what I love about black characters too. And when they put them in games, because black characters always peep game. Like black characters don't sleep on shit. They pay attention to everything, even when the party's not paying attention. The brother or the sister is always paying attention to shit. Always paying attention. While everybody else is surrounding Kate Sith and being buddy with him, the brother over here, this nigga, like, I don't trust this nigga. Like, he always peeping game. That's why I love black characters too in video games, because the black characters always peep game when nobody else is peeping game.
Well, couldn't hurt to check it out, I guess.
Mugen, you need to write square scripts, man.
Just a wee drive from here, so it is. Shall we?
Why not?
Yeah, so you have to look where you're driving to avoid enemies. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why I love Saj. Saj in Final Fantasy 13 was the same way. Saj was the wise, character in the party in Final Fantasy 13.
We'll be pulling up outside that reactor before you can say Mako.
All right, so yeah, I guess I can show you. I'll show you some of the Doom Buggy stuff, so you can get an idea what the Doom Buggy stuff looks like. Before we actually get into it on the later streams. Oh, this one we got. I don't want to show that yet. That's the Gungaga. When we on our way to Gungaga. I don't want to show too much because I want you guys to experience it when we actually get on stream, and experience it or whatever. But let me see. Yeah, so you can call the buggy anytime you want. You just press the R1 button, and then it will auto drive over to your location and everything, and you can essentially just hop in it. The buggy is only for traversing in these shallow waters where it has all these logs and debris that your party can't get across. So you get into it, and it's also for quick travel in the quicksand and stuff like that. Look at the environments. Look how big. They've done a good job. They took pointers from Horizon, and they definitely took pointers from Xenoblade Chronicles, because these environments are huge as fuck. Huge. Freaking huge. So let me so yeah, right here, you can't cross this without the buggy. You need the buggy for stuff like this. This is paths that you can't go across and things like that. So essentially, there's my buggy right there, and you can leave your buggy there. You can call the buggy; it will drive over to you. When you encounter enemies, if they're in your path, you can ride past enemies, but if they're in your path where you can't avoid them, the party members would jump out of the buggy automatically, and then the buggy would drive out of view, and you can't see it, and then it would go off screen, and then you will essentially get into your battles, and then you can call the buggy back. But yeah, this is how essentially the buggy works in this game, and they have done a fantastic job with incorporating this buggy. And like I said, the controls feel good, and it uses the PS5 DualSense, where it the step on the gas, it has the pressure on the DualSense controller. Are you serious? One second. Come on. 1 second, guys. So yeah, this is where you look for the life. What's it called? The life springs and stuff like that. These are like hidden areas and stuff like that. But we'll get into more of that when we actually get into the game, and everything. But yeah, man, this game, man, really, it has its moments. I think, it's like what messes the moments up is when Sephar Off appears on screen. It messes those moments up, and then some story choices where they made changes, like why you would question, like, why did they do that? They didn't really have to do that, because one, it really didn't add anything to anything. If anything, it just made things more confusing, or just made it just like, this is stupid. Why did he do that, or whatever. But yeah, they're trying to capitalize on everything. The mobile characters, the novels, they trying to squeeze everything all into one. That's what they're trying to do. That's exactly what they're trying to do with this. Could you talk about Nomura and his involvement in the plot devices? All right. Well, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Nomura wasn't really. He was just a director. He was not involved with the writing or anything in Rebirth, and that's why the story and the tone is way better than Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth are totally day and night. They're day. When I say day and night, they're day and night. Like they're as far as their tone and everything. And I found myself, even though there was parts of remakes that I did enjoy and stuff, I found more enjoyment in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Like through, as far as the story beats are concerned, I found more enjoyment in that compared to Final Fantasy VII Remake. When I go back to really think about it or whatever, you can tell that Nomura claws and clutches was not on this one, which is the reason why it feels less like Kingdom Hearts. And this one's very dark too. It has its dark moments as well. When it came to some of the story beats, which I also appreciated. And as I said before, it does follow the game. It really does follow the game story beats, beat for beats, but within those beats, it's underneath a different context, because their motivations are different this time. The characters do have different motivations, so how they get to these story beats are underneath a different context, and that's where people really do have their issue, because the context is much different when it comes to these story beats. And then some of the story beats, they do change. Some they change, and then others they actually add to it to flesh it out, which I do appreciate that. So I do appreciate the fact that Nomura really didn't have any real involvement to this, because at this point Nomura is focusing on Kingdom Hearts 4 at the moment. They have him on that, so he really don't have much involvement in the other titles within the trilogy or whatever like that, which is a good thing or whatever. But as I said before, the game really goes off the rails anytime Sephar Off come in. I think that was done on purpose, because Sephar Off does represent uncertainty, and him, like, he's representing that, hey, I'm fucking up the story. So that's what Sephar Off represent, and the game is really fine until you get to the last chapters. That's when the game gets really nutty. It gets nutty. I think they did that on purpose. I think the reason why they wait to the end is because they know that it will piss off fans. It will really piss off fans if the game is completely new. So they leave all the real new, like off the wall stuff. They save that at the very end of the game. That's why I think that's what they did that. So they can keep the OG fans still going in there, so they can have some type of enjoyment with the game. But as I said before, as far as Remake Part 3 come out, I think Remake Part 3 is going to be more of a new game than treading familiar territory. It would have to be, because one, the only areas that we have left in Part 3 will be Rocket Town, the northern caves with the snow town, and then the place where Cloud was recovered, where he's in when he got hit with the Mako poison. They will probably make that a region to itself. They're going to do that, because if you don't know, when Cloud gets removed from the party on at the beginning of the second disc, and you would have to play as Tifa, and then at times you have to play as Barrett, and then at times you have to play as Sid. So Cloud's no longer in your party because he goes missing. You eventually find him in this village where this doctor ends up taking care of him, and he's in a wheelchair, and he's pretty much retarded at this point because of the Mako poison. Well, I have a feeling that in part 3, they're going to turn that village in that area into a region to itself to pretty much expand it like they did Gungaga. I have a feeling they're going to do that. So as far as locations are concerned, in Final Fantasy OG, in this too, most of the time you're revisiting old areas, that places that you've been to with different story contexts. So I believe that Final Fantasy Remake Part 3, most of it's going to be new material after they tread a lot of grounds. Because like I said before, the only locations that's left for the trilogy will be, as I said before, Rocket Town, the Northern Caves, and then Wutai, which Wutai is going to definitely play a big role because in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, they pretty much restoked the war between Shinra and Wutai. So Tifa is definitely going to play a big role. And if I was to guess, I think Deep Ground is going to be thrown in some shape or one way or another. When that's as far as that's concerned, which also is going to have to bring in Vincent and maybe some information as far as Lorecia is concerned, because Hojo's definitely going to play a big role in the third part as well. So I have a feeling that most of this is going to be a lot of new material because you want to bring in Glenn, you want to bring in the Ever Crisis characters, and probably some Avalanche characters that was in the mobile game. I think that's where this is going. Part 3 is going to probably feel more like a new game than a familiar game that Remake and Rebirth was. Wait to say that. You're gonna have to go back and so most of it's revisiting old territory. You want to revisit Midgar? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Midgar. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you have to. That's the only thing you would pretty much be revisiting. Most of it, and then Fort Condor was removed altogether. That's no longer a place because what they did was, in the remake universe, Fort Condor is actually a in-game not video game, but a board game that's part of geek culture in this world of Final Fantasy VII. So to give you an example of Fort Condor, it's pretty much a miniature game, kind of like Warhammer. It's like a Warhammer game in this universe. So Fort Condor is no longer going to be a location. So I'm wondering so Rocket Town is going to probably play a bigger role as far as the big material is concerned. And this is Fort Condor. This is a story segment that deal with Gilgamesh. But what I like about this Fort Condor part is the fact is that they use the original polygons from the PlayStation. There's Polygon Tifa, there's Polygon Cloud and Barrett. I think that's pretty dope. So that's paying homage to the PS1 Polygon figures. So this is Fort Condor, right? This is the Fort Condor game. You have your units, but this time this mini game right here, Cloud and Tifa and Barrett are captains that you can use in this game. And this game is frustrating as fuck, but I like it. I thought it's pretty fun. Yeah, so pretty much essentially what you do is you put down your units. Your units cost ATB, and depending on how much ATB it costs, it only allows you to summon but so much. And the goal is to protect your base while attacking the enemy's base as well. And there's a paper rock scissors mechanics. Arrows beat was it? Arrows swords beat arrows. Arrows beat shields. Shields beat swords, I think, if I can remember. And I found it fun. I enjoyed it. I always enjoyed it. And matter of fact, in the original PS1 version of the Fort Condor moments, because Fort Condors was actually a real place that you go to, and these were real people, not action figures. These were troops that you had to get together to fend off Shinra. But like I said, they made this like a Warhammer type of game. So what I used to do was, I liked the Fort Condor so much, I actually kept a save file for me to go back and replay that over and over again because I liked it so much. But they decided to make it a mini game. It's no longer a location that played a part in the story. So I'm wondering what they're going to do to replace the Fort Condor segment in the actual story. Oh, the last one, I only lost to the last part. When it came to the proto relic, I only had trouble. I only died once, but when I went back and revitalized my strategy, man, we fucked up Gilgamesh. That last challenge, we cleared the field to where there was no more enemies, and we just had him surrounded. And what we did was because Gilgamesh, what happened is he would change his element, his properties. So what I did was when I surrounded him, I had a arrow class, I had a shield class, and a sword class. So anytime the boss would change his class, I had a counter. I had pretty much a counter to it that was attacking him, and that's how I was able to win that. But yeah, this is the Fort Condor minigame. It's addictive, and then they add more difficulty levels. And when you beat the game, they add more missions and stuff to it as well. For those of you who want to get those, who's trying to go platinum and want to achieve everything, you play those extra challenges and stuff to get the extra goodies. But yeah, I like the Fort Condor, and it has the original music, and they remixed the original music as well. So that was also pretty dope. Yeah, it was in the Yunnan region. Yeah, but yeah, guys, that's essentially it for this stream. I gotta eat dinner. I'm starving. I didn't eat all day. I've been busy. I had to take my daughter to work. Then I had to pick her up. Then I took her out to Wendy's because she wanted some Wendy's. And now I gotta eat something. I really appreciate this stream. I didn't like the frog game. I didn't like too much. But I really appreciate this stream. I'm streaming tomorrow Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm doing New Game Plus hard mode. So around 6 p.m. I'll be on. So hopefully you guys will be here to be able to watch me play some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth hard mode. And then on Friday, because tomorrow's my birthday, tomorrow's my birthday. And then Friday, I will be doing another stream where I'll be doing a tier list of games that shaped my experience as a gamer, and games that, you know, that I also didn't like and stuff. It's hard to explain it, but we're going to have fun with this. It's going to be a chill stream, and we'll be going through a tier list together on Friday. So we'll be able to have a discussion about whatever you want to discuss while we go through the tier list as well on Friday. And that will be at 6 p.m. too. So tomorrow at 6 p.m. we will be doing a playthrough of hard mode of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So make sure you come through and check that out. And then on Friday, we'll be doing a tier list of my top gaming experiences as a gamer growing up. So you guys better check that out. That's going to be at 6 p.m. Live stream, and it's going to be fun. So hopefully you guys have a good night, and I'll be seeing you game